That's a good question.
That's a nice question, right? For me, what it did was open up a new type of vulnerability because I've spoken to Coach Nyla, spoken to her about this before. I told her when I learned about them and all these other people, we had a very small family, a very private family. We were always just all together. It wasn't too many immediate relatives or family around us. So when I came into our lives, I told her it's a different type of vulnerability, especially because they knew more about us than we knew about them. So it taught me more how to be more open and vulnerable with people. And it also taught me a different leadership role and how to take on things based off of people's personality types. Because Sister Nyla, Coach Nyla, she has a very different personality and different upbringing than we do. And it really taught me how to be more open to other people and their differences.
The way that it shaped me was it gave me an opportunity to see different. Well, to apologies to well, I, am looking for a word something similar to that, but to observe, kind of like
Case study.
somewhat,
Case study.
but like to understand, to understand different, different people and people who I care about with different types of different stuff. You see, as for me, I grew up obviously around Coach Nyla, who was overly, just energetic, ready, ready to branch out. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of that rubbed on me being around her. But branching out to like introverts and different, like I mean, like
very mean,
you know what I'm saying? Very mean,
very closed
but
off.
like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like like closed off people. It was of course, it was something to like take a while, but eventually, a long while with time, and, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best plan. So that's the way it shaped me, if that made any sense. But you know what I'm saying?
I guess it taught me to be more open about things and be more open with people. Because when I was 8 years old, I was actually more extrovert than I am now. And I don't really remember a whole lot that happened between the gaps when we weren't communicating, we started communicating, getting to know each other. But for me, it was just really opening myself up to other people and learning more on how to build off of socializing. Because in a way, you are kind of socializing, you are mingling, you are trying to bond with other family in other house. So for me, it's just a matter of opening up and building my character and just trying to do my best with that. Okay.
I was really young when I was introduced to polygyny. I was like 4 years old, 3 or 4, but I didn't really know the difference in polygyny until I started getting older in my like preteens, like 12, 13, and started had to do more stuff. Like, well, we got a dog, so we had to do that, and I was surprised, like, why am I cutting grass here? What is this place? I didn't know what I was doing until then, and then he showed up, and I was like, "Oh, you're you're my bonus sibling." Okay, it was kind of all thrown at me, sort of, but eventually you get used to it, and of course, help with Khalil, you will start to get used to stuff, how things work there, and then you can pass that on to other people around the house. So yeah, all right.
Anybody? I had something to add, but I lost it. So Positive experience. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, having multiple siblings. Um, having saying gotta be this close. Sheesh. But I mean, like having more additions to the family or being an addition to the family. Either way, that's one of the most pleasant of experiences. For instance, um, Fatima and I, we connect on an artistic level. We connect on an artistic level. So we love sketching, we love art. You know what I'm saying? This is one thing that we have an agree on. As for Kaya and I, we connect on like on the musical auditorial level. So like it should be like some, just regular, what I'm saying, just things to add on and stuff that we put each other on and introduce one another to. What I'm saying? There's things that we didn't know before that we know now, what I'm saying, connecting. If that's one thing, is connecting. And what I'm saying? Introverts turn extroverts and what I'm saying, people are willing to, what I'm saying, we all willing to communicate and embrace one another's presence if that's.
The positive experiences that I have gone through in because of polygyny would have to be the whole siblings thing. I take pride in my younger siblings. I take pride in taking care of them, teaching them new things, and learning from them and helping raise them. So I feel like with all these children and all this responsibility, it makes you more mature, if that makes sense. So even at work, people are like, "Oh, I thought you were almost 30." I'm like, "Hey, do I look that old?" But no, it's actually really it's a flattering compliment because they know your head is in the right place, and I can only really thank my parents and Coach Nyla and all of my siblings for that. So that's very positive. And also traveling with everybody is very fun. It feels very safe, secure, that you have like this pack with you, people who you know will protect you and not go behind your back. And you'll know like the stats where everybody's at. So it's always really fun whenever we go out as a big family. And it draws a lot of attention. But it's mostly positive attention, but it's just really nice to know you're out with people who really love you and who actually really want to spend time with you. And just knowing it's that many people, it's not just like, okay, I got one brother, one sister, I got a mom and a dad, but it's all these people who are invested in you and you're invested in them. So it's really nice.
Okay. For me, being little, I was so happy when the Abu bought my younger brother Nasher to the house. He was a cute, that little baby. He's like, oh, we have a little baby. This is so cute. I have little baby brothers now. So I was super happy. Like the babies was the best thing for me when I was little. And then the other ones. But beyond that, I think another good thing to note is that when you have this outlet and you have this family, is you have somebody trusted to take care of these babies. So when we have our little brothers over, it's like we can trust this family, feed, take care of, read, teach these people. Actually, this family, I should say. Because, some people just don't trust dropping a child off to some stranger or having a babysitter over. So when you take it to an extended family, it's like, yeah, we're going to take care of this baby. This is our baby. We all trust each other here. But for me, when I was 8, and I think going on to 10 years old, I was super happy seeing the babies.
All right, I'm gonna comment on what Rakaya said that traveling with everyone is very fun. It's like a family event, sort of. That's kind of what it is. And every time we had a birthday, we would have like a giant birthday with everyone, and it would be very fun. We get to see everybody in the same place. We also have family meetings where we do that on a weekly basis. That's very fun, and also the babies. That's very nice. Also, trusting each other when the other house needs something, like we can go to the grocery store and get this or that, or if we need to drop off a child, like Fatima said, to have them be watched while other people go do whatever or errands or whatever. That is very good. I don't think anyone else, like some people that hire babysitters, daycares and stuff that all cost money. I don't trust people like that. I will like go to grandparents or whatever, but having another family to take care of your kids is like having yourself take care of them. That's the level of trust you have with extended family or the bonus siblings and bonus parents. All right.
And coming off of what Suleiman said, it's like a bigger family, it distributes the weight, and it's not really saying burden, but responsibilities is, equally distributed to one another, and it does make things, what I'm saying, easier. Well, much more convenient. But that's kind of it. What I'm saying? I just wanted to add to that.
Knowing what I know now, I would have much preferred. Uh, Looking back on it now knowing what I know now, what could have been done better for me was just to be introduced to them properly. Because I really did want to meet Coach Nyla. Because I was like, if my dad is marrying a second woman, she must be great. Like, because he never had like this tendency to be a player, like always looking at women and being really weird. So I was like, she must be pretty cool if he's married. If he's married to her, she must be really sweet and all this other stuff. So I would have much rather to be introduced to them beforehand, before I got this far, before I didn't really know too much about them, what was going on, and not having like kind of like that bond they had with me. Because when I did start to speak with them, which I don't really remember, I just knew, I felt like it was sort of a violation of trust, because they're like, oh, I knew, they knew all of our names and ages and all this other stuff, and I didn't really know their names. I didn't know their ages. I didn't know their birthdays. I didn't know their interests. So it's kind of like it felt like a violation of trust at first. But just knowing that my father did marry into a family who was very kind, and definitely more kind than us, and more open to getting to know us, really helped. And really helped and really made me want to know them sooner instead of holding off. So I do wish I did have the opportunity to meet them when I was first invited, when I was a lot younger and a lot more open to it. I feel like a lot of time has been wasted. And even now, sometimes things are a little awkward. I guess that's just me. But sometimes things can be like a little awkward because I don't know what's going on. But yeah, that's just, I just wish I did know them sooner, because it came out to be that they're nice people, and she wasn't somebody who was trying to steal us from our mom, or she wasn't just home wrecking, and she just wasn't trying to marry my dad. She always tells me, she was like, I really just wanted the big family, and I wanted you guys too. So it wasn't like some weird thing where she just would have Khalil, his sister, and my father's children with her. So I just wish I would have known sooner.
I have to agree with what Kai said because we weren't properly introduced. The first time I recall, the first time that we actually met, I did not know who Chloe was. I did not know who his sister was. I just saw him by my younger brother. I'm like, who's he? And then eventually figured out this together. I'm like, oh, this is Coach Nyla's kids. Now I know. And I think that's just one of the main things for me is just being properly introduced and understanding their name, knowing their names, ages, because I didn't know anything. I think I was about 11 or 12 when we officially met. And I think it would have been very nice to be taught a better mentality when we were younger, because we were told this stuff happened, but we weren't necessarily welcome to it or had a welcoming mind to it. So it would have been really nice to learn more about terms, how we should treat each other, how we should think, especially at that young age, because when you grow and you have that gap between all those years, I had all those years wasted, as Rakai said. But being older now, you can speak for yourself. You can figure out how situations are and introduce yourself. But those are the two main things I would have liked to be changed.
Honestly, I see that we all are on the same level when it comes with it. Just knowing each other, and being more open to each other sooner. Anyway. Yes, lost train. But anyway, it's like knowing what I know now, just being more open sooner. It's like, you know, it's crazy because like we there's times when we cross paths early, but it's just I feel that being young, we also fear change of some sort, and you know what I'm saying, we are comfortable. Exactly, you know what I'm saying, we're comfortable. We're comfortable in this current time, in current situation. So when change has to come, we are more dismissive or what I'm saying, more like pushing it away, holding it back. But you know, alhamdulillah, we never know what are the things that we're missing out on. Not, what I'm saying, how we not accept. Yeah. So yeah, that'd be one. Just opening up sooner.
All right. All right. When I was introduced to polygyny, which I wasn't, I was like 4. I was like 4. Wearing like I think the first time I heard Khalil existed was from Nasser. He was like, "Oh, I have an older brother, he's 16." I was like, "What?" I was shocked. I didn't know where Nas came from. I didn't connect no dots. He just showed up. So I was like, "Oh, okay." I never heard of him, but all right. But eventually, learned. I learned who Khalil was. I think we went to their house. Abu asked us if we wanted to go see our brothers. I was like, "Sure, dude." So, so we saw Nasr Soroka and we're kind of introduced and stuff. So that was pretty nice. And kind of went on from there.
For me, no, she was always very welcoming. She always wanted to get to know me. I just didn't want to get to know her at first. We do talk now. At first, did not want to get to know her. Didn't want to talk to her or anything. But no, for me, no.
That's me. No, like I look at it honestly. It's hard. Sometimes it's a tad bit hard to recall how I looked at it at first. I just kind of looked at it as more, saying more friends and just more people to talk to when it comes with, saying much more older guardian, just much more, you know, yeah, much more older people to take advice from. But what I'm saying? As so, no, not really. Not, what I'm saying? I couldn't see it, what I'm saying? That's for Abu Coach Nadir. Like always looked at him as a father, as a father figure. So yeah.
Short answer for me, no. I mean, that's kind of it. They're basically this. Well, they're different in personality, obviously, but nothing's different for me anyway.
No, Coach Nyla has always been super sweet and super nice. A little too nice, but I'm not complaining. I was little. She let me go in the house and take her snacks. Look, I like you. I like you. She let me eat, and she didn't judge me for it. But she's always been super nice. Like her kindness is the type of kindness you can tell is very genuine. Which is something I really love about her. She's not forcing her kindness on us. It's like, oh, come on, please come over to the house. She'll like genuinely want us. Yeah, she's like fake. Because I think some of them I'm really fortunate, just to say this on a little note, I'm really fortunate. I feel very fortunate that Coach Nyla was very wonderful co-wife and oh my god, my voice cracked. Anyway, was a very wonderful co-wife because some of them can be toxic, some of them can be really hateful to the initial life, some of them can be horrible. So I'm just really grateful to Allah and alhamdulillah that we have such a kind woman in our life. Because she could have been so much, she could have been horrible, but I'm very happy and she didn't treat me any different and I love her. So that's it.
My husband's about to take a second one. How did your mother react early on? Was she helpful early on, or was it too difficult because I'm finding it?
Okay. It was for my mother. It was who's Coach Fatima. It was very difficult for her and for all of us to accept. I accepted it because I was a child, so I didn't understand it from her point of view. So things were very difficult, and I told Sister Nyla this, and I also told my mother this that because of my father taking a second wife, it took up a lot of my teenage years and a lot of my older sister's teenage years raising the children and being there for the children, but also emotionally supporting my mother. So I think it's okay for it to be difficult because it was difficult for my mother. But I do think if you have children or anything like that, to keep them in mind, don't just completely shut down because it can mentally affect them a lot. So, which is why I also appreciate that people ask about the children, how they feel, because I feel like a lot of times they just make it, oh, it's the husband and his two wives, his three, four wives, but there's children involved and there's children helping and there's children also feeling like, you know, he's happier at the other house. Because I used to think that all the time. I was like, oh, he's going to the other house because he's happier there. And I was like, so I used to think that. But now that I'm older, I know that wasn't true. But I do think it's okay for it to be difficult. But I would definitely say, don't let this shut you down entirely. Because as my mom and as Sister Nyla say, Coach Nyla say, he doesn't belong to you at all. And he doesn't belong to me. My father doesn't belong to me. None of my siblings. He belongs to God. So that's why as I got older, I started to realize I'm like, this is not just about me. This marriage stuff is not just about me. This is about other people, and not to be so selfish. And inshallah, God willing, when you make it to heaven in Jannah, you'll get to be with him again. You know, it's this life is so short term. I just don't want women to go through this and just entirely shut their lives down. But it's okay for it to be difficult. It's okay to feel. It's okay to cry. But it's also okay to research and not love him so much that you're just your whole life is him. So I think that's the mistake a lot of women make is their whole life is their husband and that's it. They don't have any goals for themselves. But it's okay for it to be difficult. Even though I'm open to polygyny, if I really love somebody and they got married again, I'd probably be like, dang, that kind of sucks. But I wouldn't let it. I wouldn't let it affect me because I do think men, a majority of men do actually need to have polygyny, and I feel like men, it's so amazing because they can handle that burden of multiple women because I would not want multiple men in my life. Like, so it's amazing that men can even handle the burden of that many women in a contract and take care of all of them equally if they're following the Quran and Sunnah.
No, I just said well said.
I mean, we see y'all again. As in siblings?
I mean, so is anyone like distant because of polygyny? I would say no. I think it's our own decision now being older. Like, if you want to build those bonds that you can, you want to build as ready as you can. We are connected throughout this entire family because of polygyny and have our bonus siblings. But for me, I can have a hard time bonding. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I rarely talk to my own siblings. So so for me, that's like it's not a matter of being distant because of polygyny. It's just a matter of learning more about your bonus siblings, and I don't know. It's just like you just. I think it's more of a decision making thing. If I want to go and bond, I'll go and bond. I remember once I had asked Coach Nyla for Rice Krispies, okay, because her daughter can bake. I remember I was like, oh, I'll pay you for it. I didn't. I literally said I'd pay her for it because that's her time, that's her patience, and everything else going baking. She made a whole tray. I didn't ask for a whole tray, but I was so happy. I was like, you know what, this is great. But for me, it's not. It's not because of polygyny. I think it's just really a matter of your personality. Because I'm very introverted. I don't talk to my own siblings. I don't barely talk to my own parents. So for me, that's what it'd be.
Just bouncing off what Fatima said with the whole thing where we don't really talk to each other. We are Coach Nadir and Coach Fatima's kids. Most of us are introverted. So when we were first introduced, kind of like, okay, it looked like we really didn't care. So sometimes I do feel like you kind of have to make yourself more open to people who aren't always around. So sometimes I'll have to be more, I don't want to say overcompensating, but I have to kind of put my energy level up here when I'm around them so I don't make them feel distant towards me or that I'm acting like I am distant because they're not always around me because I'm normally quiet, like Fatima said. So I don't feel like it's a distance, but it's just getting used to each other's energy and um, getting accustomed to each other's differences so you don't make them feel like they're brushed off because of your personality.
Um, bouncing off of both of their statements. I disagree. I mean, with being, you know what I'm saying, with us having any type of issues or problems due to polygyny. In fact, polygyny brought us together. It strengthened a bond between where to the point where we can have problems within each other, but also we trust one another enough where we have a mediator to resolve any conflicts. That's what I'm saying. And then not only that, what is that? Teamwork makes the dream work. You know what I'm saying? With definitely, what I'm saying, definitely with, what I'm saying, with more people, we link together and we all have this certain bond. It's kind of I kind of look at it like Voltron. We all are, you know what I'm saying? We all have our own unique things, but when we bond together, it's something extremely unique and powerful beyond measure. So that's how I look at it.
All right, first, I'm gonna bring this up. These two and I are introverts. He's an extrovert. So, so I would say at first it would probably be difficult. I'm talking to the sons right now, like the older sons in their teenage years. You probably ain't gonna like it for like first 2 years unless you have someone like with you, because you ain't gonna wanna, depending on where you are, cut grass, shovel. Yeah, you have like a second pair of responsibilities that's very hard to get on until over time you get used to it and you'll understand all the stuff that you're doing. It all has a reward in this life and in the hereafter. And that clue helped me, so it's easy. But yeah, you get used to it over time, and then eventually it won't affect you anymore. And then if you have younger siblings, younger brothers, you just throw it on them.
Here are 3 ways outstanding personal relationships can help you.
One is by following us on our social medias. Follow us on IG at Outstanding Relationships and on Facebook and YouTube at Outstanding Personal Relationships. And make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell.
Number 2, make sure you head over to outstandingpersonalrelationships.com and subscribe to the email list. From there, you will get downloads as well as updates, any and all updates. And you also get an update on the release of our new book, Let's Talk Polygyny, Uncensored.
Number 3, if you are serious about polygyny relationships and really developing fulfillment and happiness, make sure you register for our Relationship Mastery Inner Circle, which is members only, which includes downloads, it includes access to us live on a weekly basis. So that's at outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/RM. We'll see you soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.